All right, today we're putting on our detective hats. We're going to solve one of the biggest mysteries any creator faces. Is this old piece of content really free to use? We're going to go on an investigation, follow the paper trail, and hopefully unlock a huge treasure trove of creative material.
So picture this. This is where it all begins, right? You've stumbled upon the perfect piece of history for your project. It feels old, it looks old, but honestly, that feeling isn't going to protect you. The line between a brilliant creative choice and a really costly legal headache is, believe it or not, surprisingly thin. So how do you find the real answer?
Here's our game plan for solving this thing. We're going to start by getting a handle on the public domain itself. Then, we'll uncover this super important rule that's basically the key to unlocking older works. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, how to hunt for clues in the official records, how to spot misleading notices, and finally, how to build a rock-solid case file to protect yourself and your work. Okay, first things first, let's be totally clear on what we're searching for. We are looking for works that have entered what's called the public domain. And this isn't some legal loophole, it's a huge, intentional collection of our shared culture specifically designed to be free for everyone to use and build upon.
You can think of it as the ultimate creative playground. It's this massive wellspring of material, novels, music, art, films, you name it, that no longer has copyright protection. What does that mean for you? It means you can adapt it, you can remix it, you can republish it, all without asking for permission or paying a single dime in fees. It is an incredibly powerful resource.
And look, we're not just talking about some old, dusty, forgotten stuff here. Modern creators have built enormous successes on public domain foundations. I mean, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Someone took Jane Austen's classic novel, which is in the public domain, and mashed it up with the zombie apocalypse. It became a bestseller. It just goes to show you what's possible. Really, the only limit is your imagination. And now, we get to the most critical part of our entire investigation. See, for a very specific period in U.S. history, copyright law had this unique little twist. And understanding this rule is the absolute key to unlocking thousands of works you might just assume are still protected. So take a look at this timeline. This shows you exactly why a film from 1955 is way more complicated than one from, say, 1920. As you can see, anything published before 1923, easy. It's in the public domain. But that window right there, from 1923 to 1963, that's our focus. I call it the renewal trapdoor because it's where countless works just unexpectedly fell out of copyright protection. So here's the deal, the crucial point. Back then, long-term copyright wasn't automatic. You got an initial 28 years, and if you wanted more, you had to physically file a renewal with the Copyright Office. It was a whole bureaucratic step. You had to remember to do it, and you had to do it in exactly the 28th year. No exceptions. And the truth is, a ton of copyright holders, they just didn't do it. They forgot, maybe their company went out of business, or maybe they just didn't see any future value in their work. And this wasn't some rare thing. We're talking about thousands and thousands of books, films, and songs. Even major Hollywood movies like the John Wayne film McLintock fell right into the public domain because of a missed deadline. It's now totally free for anyone to use. Okay, so we know this renewal trapdoor exists, but how do we actually prove a work fell through it? Well, now it's time to become a real detective and follow the paper trail. This is where you find the cold, hard proof. Your whole investigation really comes down to these 3 simple steps. First, you gather your intel. You need the basic facts, right? The what, who, and when. Second, you search the official records, which is called the Catalog of Copyright Entries. And third, you hunt for that specific renewal filing. And here's the key. The absence of evidence is the evidence. No renewal record is the smoking gun we're looking for. Now, this whole process centers on the Catalog of Copyright Entries, or CCE. It sounds super intimidating, but a lot of it has been digitized and is online. The trick is to search the records for the year the renewal should have been filed. How do you find that? Just add 28 years to the original publication date. So for our 1955 film, you'd search the CCE records for the year 1983. If you search by the title and find nothing, no renewal entry, you've found your strongest piece of evidence. But wait, what if you find a copy of that 1955 film and it has that little C symbol on it? Aha! This is a really common red herring. For works from this era, a copyright notice is just a claim. It's not definitive proof.
And as copyright expert Stephen Fishman puts it so well, anyone can slap a copyright notice on anything. There's no copyright police going around checking these things. So that little symbol by itself is not proof that a work is actually protected.
This little chart just illustrates that gap between perception and reality perfectly. You see the C symbol and your brain just assumes, okay, case closed, it's protected. But for these older works, the reality is way more nuanced. That notice doesn't change the renewal rule. It could be a mistake, it could be a deliberate bluff, or, and this happens a lot, it might refer to something new that was added to the original work. Here's a perfect real-world example you've probably seen. We all know the Mona Lisa is in the public domain, right? But if a museum takes a new, high-quality photo of it, they can put a copyright notice on their photograph. That notice protects their new work, the photo itself, but it doesn't magically put the original Mona Lisa painting back under copyright. The underlying work is still totally free to use.
So, you've done the legwork, you've checked the records, you've confirmed there was no renewal, and you are confident the work is in the public domain. Awesome, but we're not done yet. There's one last, absolutely critical step. You have to document everything and build your case file.
And you might be asking, why bother? I know, I'm right. Well, here's why. Because even when you are 100% correct, someone might still challenge you. An estate, a publisher, someone who's just mistaken, they might send you a very scary-looking legal letter. And that is when all your detective work becomes your shield.
So what goes in this case file? It's basically your research log. You want to know which databases you searched, the exact date of your search, and the precise search terms you used. Most importantly, you need to document your findings, especially the lack of a renewal record. Take screenshots of your search results. This documentation is your proof that you did your due diligence and have a good faith reason to believe the work is free to use. And if that scary letter does show up in your inbox, rule number 1, don't panic. And rule number 2, don't ignore it. A calm, professional response saying you're looking into their claim, backed up by your super detailed research log, is an incredibly powerful defense. It shows you're not some pirate. You're a detective who has already solved the case. You see, at the end of the day, the public domain isn't just a legal status. It's an invitation. It's this incredible library of our shared culture, and it's just waiting for your voice, your take on it. We've shown you that the mystery is solvable, the tools are out there. So the only real question left is the one on the screen. What will you create with it?